Hey guys, how's it going? It's Banks Talks. Now, this time around, we're going to be looking at the IEM event that starts tomorrow, runs until the 5th of March. It's a $250,000 Counter-Strike Go event, and we will see some of the best teams battle it out in the Spodek Arena in Germany. And there's a lot of history with IEM, all the way back from 1.6 to now, and they've heavily supported the Counter-Strike scene. But some of the interesting parts as well is that players that are still playing in it now, like Taz and Neo, they're actually playing it all the way back then in 1.6. Anyway, on to the main thing for this video. I'm going to be looking at the teams, the groups, how I think it's going to pan out and what we can expect to give a bit more insight to you guys from my perspective. Always interested to hear your thoughts. Another thing you might notice is we've got a better looking overlay now. Kindly, the guy who does my graphics and stuff for me across social media, he came along, saw the video and was like, oh god, what have you done, dude? Made me a much better looking one, so you can find his info below if you want to check him out. But yeah, thank you Kieran for sorting out for me, buddy. So how this is going to work, there's two groups, Group A and B. The team that finishes in first place goes straight to the semis, second and third go through to the playoffs, and they will have to go to round of 6 and kind of battle it out. So Group A, you've got Nip, Optic, Immortals, Fnatic, FaZe and Astralis. Straight away you're going to be thinking Astralis, favourites kind of going into that. And then obviously you've got FaZe with adding Nico to it, the expected wonderful lineup. Nip not performing too well of recent. You've got Optic, obviously they've made their change, lost their in-game leader. Haven't seen too much from them. And then you've got Fnatic, which is bringing back this, yes, the godly lineup that everyone wants to do well. But it didn't pan out for them in Las Vegas. Have they managed to sort anything out in the very limited time between Las Vegas and IEM? We'll have to see. And obviously you've got the Immortals in there, so the other Brazilian team that we hear about, some very decorated players in there, some skilled players, but you'd probably say SK is a level above them, so we're not too sure what we'll see from here. Group B, you've actually got SK, VP, North, Na'Vi, Heroic and Cloud9, and I find that group probably the most challenging one because you've got 4 teams on paper who could any given day make that happen. But obviously with VP's current form, you're probably be thinking they're the main ones to go through. So I'm going to start with the EU qualifier teams. And so that was Na'Vi, Heroic and Fnatic. The first team I'm going to start with is Na'Vi, and you've got to start feeling sorry for Na'Vi now that they can't kind of piece this together. Since Simple coming on board, we expected like such amazing, great things. Obviously, one of the best players in the world, and he just does insane things that make you think, how is that even possible? But they haven't managed to come away with a win yet. They're not putting in the great work against the teams that are maybe a tier above them. VP, Astralis, SK. They can't be consistent against these teams, and that's my problem with them. They go deep in tournaments and then it just stops. It's like a halt. It's like, oh, we've lost our way. They hit a blockade and that's it. That's what seems to happen for them. Now there was a tweet about internal issues. They were saying within the team, obviously everyone straight jumped down Simple's neck because obviously Simple's obviously the worst person for toxicity. That's what everyone seems to think. It's clearly not true because they straight away came out and said no, it's not Simple. But that makes it think, okay, who is it? And you either need to address this problem or make a change, because I think time is running out for this lineup, and it's a shame because on paper it looks so good. They need to utilise Simple and Flamey 100% if they want to go far in this tournament. With the group they're in, you're going to look at and probably struggle against North, VP and SK. That really puts them on the back foot straight away. So they can win these games. They've done it before. They know they can, but it's going to take a lot for them to make that happen. And if their performance in Las Vegas is anything to go by, I think they'll still fall at that hurdle, unless they've made a massive change. Heroic, thankfully, welcome to their new player. He finally made it into the roster after many negotiations. Juggy basically was on another team. They're trying to bring him over. It got blocked for a little while, and then it finally happened. So this is where he'll have a time to shine. Now, Heroic is a team you've got to look out for. First of all, they're Danish, and I'm sure Anders is very happy because there's all this Danish success with like North and Astralis. Could we add Heroic to it as well? Potentially, yes. They've got some really good players on that team. Valdi was doing like insane work to get them through these qualifiers as it was, and you've basically got to kind of think that this team doesn't have as much pressure on them as well. And they're not like probably under the same pressure as the slightly higher tier teams, and that actually would make it a bit easier for them. They're going to go in here with nothing to lose and a lot to prove. So what they can pull off here, if they have to go against, say, I don't know, they go against Cloud9, you expect it to be a close game maybe, but if they can edge out Cloud9, that would be fantastic. And see how they put up against North, another Danish team, a little rivalry there. Obviously they've got Molly, the Swedish guy, but generally you go through with Heroic being 4 Danish, 1 Swede. Next team down, Fnatic. Now, my issue with this is we all hoped, and I was one of them people as well, we all hoped that Fnatic were going to come out, crush it with their new lineup, be in a fantastic place for performance, and we'd see the old Fnatic era come back. Well, that hasn't happened in Las Vegas. Their big players just didn't perform, and it was baffling. You're sat there watching thinking, this is not working. Now, it's one event. You can't judge them on one event. I'm never going to be one person that goes out there, but we haven't seen anything special from them yet. They should be able to fit together nicely, considering they've played together previously. So given the excuse that they haven't had that much time, I don't think it's really fair, because it should have been easier for them. But potentially, is there still issues where players don't want to play with each other, egos or anything like that? We don't know, but they need to prove that they can play to the top level again here. But it's just going to be so difficult for them. And I am giving predictions at the end of this on who I think is going to win it and how the group's going to work out. Anyway, they're your EU qualifier teams. Now we go to the invited ones. We'll start with SK. So what we saw at Las Vegas, obviously SK, fantastic run, couldn't beat out VP, but put up a great fight with a new player. And what's interesting here is Fallen has kind of taken a step back, given Phelps an opportunity to really go all guns blazing, and it worked. It was doing fantastic work there. Cold Zero and First still putting in the great performances. Now they've got a little bit more time under their belt, because again, I can't stress enough how close these events are together, and also how close it is in terms of overall skill in CSGO at the moment. The skill gap's like just tiny, absolutely ridiculously small, and little things change massively just from one event to an event. So even with a week's difference, like, I don't know, we'll have to see in the long run how it's going to work out for them. But it's time for SK to win something again now. I think they're hungry, they want to prove it. It's been a while. They've got over the Fox thing now. This could be the golden moment for SK, and they've just got to look out for Astralis and VP. The crazy thing for them as well is they're in the same group as VP, so we're going to see something interesting early on and see kind of what level they can go on. But obviously, it's going to be best of one to start off with. So now we come to North. Looks super strong with AZ going into Las Vegas. Really impressive. They fought back against SK. It was 16-14 on Cash, 16-9 on Mirage. To be fair, when I was watching it, I expected 2-1 in favour of SK, but I expected it to be 2-1. Didn't really get given the chance that SK were doing so well. They weren't good enough. But the great thing about this team is their map pool is probably one of the best out there. They are not too worried about playing any of these maps, and they get stuck in straight away. So all they've got to adapt to now is the recent change, obviously bringing in AZ, fit together, work on the tactical side a bit more, and if they can harness all that, then this team basically may have worked out what they have been missing to really progress. But yeah, North is definitely a team that you can never count out. Optic, not a team I'm too positive on at the moment, just because of how things worked out for them. They lost Stanislaw to Liquid, their in-game leader, and they were so dominant towards the end of 2016. But now you've got Hiko's come in. He's not calling for the team. I think it was Naf? Yeah, Naf. I think it was Naf who was calling for the team now. Whether he still is when it comes to IEM, that's another thing. But that's obviously going to take away from his performance as well. They have now got Peacemaker, so he's coaching, but obviously less involvement from coaches, following Valve's rules. It's going to be really tricky for them to pull something together now, because I think Stanislaw was such a huge loss, and the other players really need to step up all to that next level, and they've really got to be looking at Hiko to put in some of them crazy performances that everyone knows him for. Them clutches, them one-man rounds where he just bodies everyone. Do I think they're going to be able to do it? No, not in such a stacked tournament, but it's more experience in a high-pressure situation for a team like them. Nip. Oh, where to begin with Nip? All Nip fans are a bit lost and a bit confused at the moment. Potentially for me, this could be the last time for this current Nip lineup. Something's not working. They've run out of Nip magic. It's uncomfortable for me to watch Nip now, because you think back to literally middle of last year and they were dominating. Well, not dominating, but they were putting in performances that you could look at and go, oh, okay, that's justifiable. This is why this is happening. And now it's like something's just gone into the team and disrupted it. Like, I honestly thought with Clive coming into the team back when he was announced, I was like, oh, this is a solid pickup for them. And it's really hard for a team like Nip, especially with 4 players who played together for so long, to add another player in. But I thought, yeah, this was going to be the right choice. That didn't happen. That didn't work. And I'm just worried for this lineup, whether they need to change someone and keep Pipe in and move and maybe change Exist or maybe change Freiburg. But they're such talented, skilled players. It just feels like something's amiss here, and they need to work on that quickly. And I'm hoping they've got a trick up their sleeve and bringing some of that nip magic back come IEM, because it's worrying times. It's worrying times for them. Now, Astralis, one of the best teams in the world, if not the best team in the world. Them VP going head to head. We would love to see another Astralis VP game, but to be fair, I'm thinking there hasn't been enough time for Astralis to come back and face that devastating, monstrous, we're going to tear up everything VP, and especially on home soil. But what annoyed me about Las Vegas was people saying Astralis didn't do their homework, didn't look at what Virtus Pro did in the previous games. There's no way a tactician like Glaive would not do his homework. I do not think they're complacent, and I do not think Astralis would slack off. It's just not happening. People talk rubbish. Simple as. I think their biggest fear as well should be SK trying to catch up with the change and stuff. SK obviously played really well. They shouldn't underestimate SK, basically. At the moment, it's theirs to lose. They did have a questionable match against LDLC where they won 25-23. That was in Pro League, and that was a shock. So that was a bit off them. But, again, you're travelling a lot. You're putting a lot of work going to events. As I said, time between these events is such a factor. So that could be why. But IEM, they need to kind of reclaim their crown, or at least fight back and get themselves to the finals kind of way. Cloud9, now they're a quiet team at the moment, but don't count them out. Remember, they were your ESL Pro League Season 4 champions. They are just inconsistent because they haven't made out of the group since then, and that's what I'm like, wow, okay. Now Las Vegas obviously had the 2 games against Nip that were really close. They demolished them on Cobble. It was like 16-3 or 16-2, but then obviously Nip fought back. But again, we're talking just a second ago how Nip aren't in their current form, so it's a real weird moment. But they struggle to get out of the groups. I'm assuming they're going to struggle again here. I can't see anything's going to massively have changed in a small amount of time. They're definitely capable of doing some upsets, but I just can't. I haven't got much positive to say on this team in terms of like what they're going to be able to achieve. But you really can't count them out. You can never say never when it comes to the Cloud9 team. Now FaZe, skill, Karrigan. And that's not saying that Karrigan isn't skilled. That's saying that they've got 4 ultimate machines and a tactician in Karrigan with leadership and experience by the bucket load. This is a scary FaZe team. If I'm any other team right now, I'd be looking at FaZe and thinking they've now got Nico on top of having Alu, on top of having Karrigan, and you're looking at this monster lineup together and you're thinking, okay, there's not too much we can do with that. Like, that is on Dangerous. They are the European heroes from all over. I saw someone, I think it was on Reddit, basically said it's like the reject team. Like, players that haven't made it to the top teams in their country will jiggle together. But this is actually a formation on paper that looks just godly to watch. Now, we talk about the game that Nico did against FaZe, where Miles did so well at Las Vegas, and he was like 54 frags or something crazy, like some ridiculously Nico's kind of parting gift to Miles. I'm just going to headshot everyone with no care in the world. That was Nico unleashed. For me in this team with Carrigan, he is on a perfect fit, depending on how they're going to utilise him. This is always so important, because you know, when a player comes to fit into a team and they kind of end up, oh well, you just go here now, you fill in this spot. You've got to kind of remould the team, especially for a player like Nico. You've got to allow him to do his thing, because he is just a monster, and he's been held back by Miles for so long, carrying them literally through everything. And now he's going to be able to probably look back at his teammates and think, they're going to still pick up this round because I've done 3 kills, or I've done 2 kills, or I've got the entry pick. It's a test, and it's only a very short, again, come back to this time, real short time since he's joined the team now, because obviously he wasn't playing for them in Las Vegas. To give it time, I'm not saying they're going to go out and straight away do it, but this team is scary. VP, last couple of teams to go through now. VP had an unbelievable Las Vegas. It was at the end of the E-League major. Taz said that, obviously I think it was KOB who said, oh, we didn't play our best, or we didn't play up to our standard. And Taz went straight out there and was like, bring your best for next time. I promise you, we'll crush you then. These Polish guys are fearless, and they knew they let themselves down at the E-League major. That's not taking anything away from Astralis, but there was like 3 or 4 key points when you watch that back that you can literally see, okay, VP could have won there, could have won there, could have won there. Obviously, it can work on both sides, but VP had them chances first. Also, home soil. Now, which I've been to events, I've commentated out, just attended. Whenever you go and VP are there, they have fans, doesn't matter what country they're in. On home soil, it's going to be insane. When the Virtus Pro fans come out, VP feed off it more than I think any other team. The energy that crowd delivers to VP is like nothing else I've ever seen any other team receive. Maybe NIP are probably the only team that got close to that back in the early days. VP have just got they're the fan favourites as such. We all want to see VP versus Astralis again. Currently, I don't think Astralis would have had enough time to even combat this kind of Virtus Pro. If they have that momentum, if they have that energy, and we're in the Spodek in their home country, you're in Poland, the plough is going to go straight over everyone. High chance of them winning the championship. That's basically it. Just keep your eyes on Snacks and Bialy, and watch just the team do their thing and see how they go against Astralis that they come up against them, and obviously SK in the groups. Final team, the NA qualifier, Immortals, the other Brazilian team, some huge names in it. Obviously, Hen 1, you've got Lucas. This team has all the potential, but this is the first challenge at a big stage again for them. Obviously, massive rivalry with SK for obvious reasons, Brazilian teams, the change of players. But this is the best group for them to be in. This is what's crazy. They've got Optic, NIP, Fnatic and FaZe, all teams who have made recent changes as well, but all teams are not going to be used to playing. So for me, Immortals is this team that can go sneaking in and be like, okay, we've done away with NIP, we did away with Fnatic, we had a really good game against FaZe that we could potentially win. Oh, and Optic, we saw them off as well. This is what people should be looking out for, because I haven't really seen people talk about Immortals for this event, and actually I think there is that chance that they could get through the groups if we don't see any improvement on NIP and Fnatic. So let's see how they get on, but it would be amazing to see Immortals versus SK there, that's for sure. They've got a lot to prove, but they're in the best position possible for this event. I think being in this group gives them the ultimate chance of it, and they've got to make the most of it. So now I'm going to go through, let me just bring up the viewers I picked, the winners I picked, sorry, for the Group A and Group B. So for me, and I'll go through my reasons why. Group A, when you've got NIP, Optic, Immortals, Fnatic, FaZe and Astralis. I honestly think Astralis, yep, they'll take #1 spot. and then we'll see second phase. Pretty confident of that. But I think Immortals are going to come in third. Unless Fnatic can pull something crazy out of the bag, we're going to see Immortals do it. And unless Fnatic can then obviously everyone rise up and play to the level that we knew the Fnatic team could. But I think how CSGO is at the moment, they could easily lose out to Immortals. It is a scary roster, and they are all teams that have played at a really high level, so it's not brand new to them. So yeah, I think that it's going to be a Stralism phase for the top two, and my third choice will be Immortals, but it all depends on how Nip and Fnatic play out now. Group B, so that's the group with SK, VP, Na'Vi, Heroic and Cloud9. I think VP and SK straight away, you've got to think they're going through. VP 100%, they'll go through in first. SK probably second. Now Na'Vi, North and Heroic. Again, this is just a mental group. So Na'Vi, on paper you'll think, yeah, they're going to go for it. They're probably going to have a tough time against North. But then you've got Heroic who, like, again, Danish, some solid players on it. Not so much to lose and a lot to prove. This tournament could be huge for them. So I'm going to stay with saying Na'Vi is going to go through third. But it's not going to be easy. Both Heroic and North are going to give them a chance with it. Cloud9 I can't really put on there because I just can't see them against that. Like, they're in such a group that I just think you've not really got the chance there. It's going to be great to see. It all kicks off tomorrow, guys. Let me know your thoughts in the comments. Tell me who you think is going to win. And any feedback for the videos, always appreciated. Hope you guys like it. Big thank you to the 500 people that checked out the video. The first video I did as well, so thank you very much. And if you like the content, drop the sub. Cheers, guys.